I don't know why I wear this shirt. It's like literally like the worst shirt that I wear. It's just the least flattering on me, and it has like this tiny thing of bleach that just drives me crazy. But I was wearing it today, so that's it. I was wearing it. It was comfortable. I was wearing it, and I'm recording a video. That's the whole thing. Alrighty, hey guys, FunnyGuyTimmy here for a video talking about dealing with kind of a common problem, for me at least, and the different ways that I do this. Now, I've actually kind of covered this topic before, more or less, but this is kind of like tackling a very specific issue. So, if you're like me and you do voiceover online, you're going to get a lot of over-the-seas clients. And that's probably about like 90% of the clients that I have is overseas. And every now and then you're going to get a script that looks very different. Looks very... Technically, it's broken. It's not written well. It's got tons of grammatical and spelling errors. And it's just all over the place. And that's not to really say anything bad about the client. If you're working with a client overseas and they're trying their best to translate it into your language and they don't actually technically speak it, at least not as a first language, give them some space, give them some time. If you were to try to communicate to them in their language, you didn't know anything and you're trying to just use Google Translate, you're probably going to get the same result. So I'm never mad about it. I'm never frustrated. I'm never upset. I just know that it means that I need to rewrite some stuff and restructure it just to make it easier on me. And I let the client know that. I let the client know in ahead of time. And this client, they actually let me know that they're like, the script that we're sending you, feel free to spell check and grammar check and all that kind of stuff. So, cool. They gave me the heads up, and so I knew what to expect. So I went into it like that. And so after I rewrote it, I sent it back to them and they approved it, and then I recorded it. So now I'm going to show you guys what it is I had to do. So on the left side is their original script, their original copy that they sent me. And that's exactly how it looked like. You can see all the blue, you can see all the red. Now, most of this stuff, we'll get to this one over here, which is my version, in just a second, but you can see it's kind of all over the place. There's huge two spaces between commas, not enough periods. There's spaces after pretty much every single punctuation, whether it's periods or commas or question marks, exclamation points. You can see that there are symbols instead of whole words in here. Every now and then there's unnecessary shortening. And there are tons of how to pronounce certain things smack dab in the middle of a sentence. It happens twice, but this is really the big one right here. So this is what they sent me. I looked at it. I tried to read over it, but it was kind of hard to read over it as it was. I got the general idea, but there was some sentences that I really needed to rewrite and I really needed to understand in order to do it. So there was, I think it was like this top sentence. I was like, not sure what you're going for here. Not sure exactly what it is you're trying to say. And they're like, oh, it's a joke. And I was like, so then after I read that it was a joke, it's supposed to be a joke, I went and I, rewrote it knowing now what it's supposed to be. So we're going to go to the other one. So we're going to go to this one. So what I did is, and this helps me with reading, mostly with my dyslexia, but it also just helps the flow. So as you can see, I've moved everything. Let's put these back to where they were. Nope. There we go. Get you back over here. Okay. So what I do is, instead of having to, the sentence breaks a couple times between a line, it'll start the sentence and then literally the next sentence will be on another line, but it'll be halfway in between when it breaks. And that kind of janks up the flow for me. So what I do, also most of these were just run-on sentences. lots of ands, lots of unnecessary commas, and so I actually rewrote it as the proper sentences, or at least the best that I could do. And so I highlighted this one red because I still wasn't quite sure if this is what they wanted. So, I was like, if there's going to be really any issue, it's either going to be pronunciations or it's going to be this one sentence. So, I'm still waiting on their reply. But since I already sent this to them and they approved it before I started recording, I think I'm good. But that's just saying. So first thing I had to do was move all the punctuations or the pronunciations, all the instructions to the top, all of it to the top. Because when it gets down to reading, I don't need to be reading instructions. I need to just be reading the lines. So I moved all that to the top, move that up. And then I broke, so each section is like an idea, or each section has like a natural break. So when you're talking, you'll naturally have a break, or you'll keep running on to the next sentence. And so wherever there would be a natural break, whether it's the sentence, so if it's a sentence, I'll move the next sentence down to another line. Or I'll have wherever the natural break is, whether it's a comma. Let's see, we'll get to one in a second, I'm sure. No, I just did it all sentences. And then when it's a new idea or it's a new topic, I'll put a space between it. So if there's a point that I need to stop and catch my breath or regather my thoughts, that's the point in which I need to do it. But the reason I break the sentences is because if it's a really long sentence like these are, and it goes all the way over here, now my eyes need to travel the whole length of this back over to here in order to keep reading. And because I'm dyslexic and it takes me a little while to catch up, for my mind to catch up to my eyes, I can't be doing that for a whole sentence. I can't be doing that halfway into a sentence. So I'll break the sentence, and so the next line will be another sentence where there would naturally be a pause. So if it takes me a little while to catch up, it's fine because that's naturally where a pause would be. So I rewrote it, put the sentences where they're supposed to be. I rewrote some of this. For the most part, this is basically what they sent me. There's just a little bit of changing up, slight changing of ideas, kind of rewording to make it flow better, to make it sound a little bit more natural, like how someone from America would speak it. And that was basically it. This is something that I have to do on a regular basis. And this is no shame to any client. This is no shame to anyone overseas. If I was to work with someone overseas and I was to type something, and then try to translate it based on my lack of knowledge of their language, it would come off incredibly, incredibly hard to read. So, this is totally fine. Send me the best that you can do, and then if I have questions, I'll ask questions. I'll try to rework it, whatever. It'll take a little bit more work on my end, but I'm totally fine doing that for an overseas client. It's you have to offer that kind of courtesy. If you're working with overseas clients, expect to be going into a project and having to rewrite it or do some grammatical or spell check. But make sure the client knows. Make sure that you let the client know. Because there are some things they might be like their catchphrase, like their company's catchphrase or something that they say a lot. You don't want to rewrite that without them knowing. So let them know. Is like, all right, I'm gonna, I can see that there's some errors. I'm gonna, rewrite and send you a new version. Let me know what you think, and then if you approve, then I'll record that. Don't just be like, hey, I rewrote it. Here you go. Because yours was, all broken and everywhere. Let them know ahead of time, and try to, be as courteous as possible. Every now and then, and I have gotten this one time, you will get a client from overseas that has a grammatically broken script, English-wise, and they won't want you to touch anything, and they want you to just record it the way it is. It's only happened to me once. I hated it. It was awful. It was the worst thing to ever record. It was just hard for me to say because there was no rhythm. There was no speech pattern the way English is spoken. So it was incredibly difficult, but that's what they wanted. I sent it to them. They never got back with me. So I don't know if they liked it. I don't know if they didn't like it. I have no idea, but that's what they wanted. So every now and then it might happen, but it's not regular. It's not on a regular basis. It's not often. Most of the time, they're aware that, being that it is in English, if they're not from a predominantly English-speaking country, that there is going to be that. They basically already know ahead of time that this is probably something that's going to be negotiated. So anyway, just wanted to show you guys what I do on a regular basis. Not on a regular basis. I'd say like maybe once a week, maybe, but not too often. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Totally fine. Subscribe if you're new, bell for notifications, and leave down in the comment section below if you'd like to see me do any videos or have any questions. Yeah, just leave that down there. So until next time, peace.